this card here. What does this say? Oh, hi there. How are you today? I was just playing a fun game with my friend Nikki. We're taking all the instruments in the orchestra and we're putting them into categories. And I couldn't read the name on my last card, but I see now that it says piccolo, which is a smaller version of the flute. And I know you blow air through it, and I know it's not a brass instrument, so I think it's a woodwind instrument. What do you think? So, Nikki, what's on your last card?
Okay. I have the triangle.
Oh.
So I know with the triangle, you use this little stick here to hit inside of the triangle. I'm pretty sure that makes it a part of the percussion family.
Yeah, I think so too. So, Nikki, why do you think we like to categorize things?
I think it's fun, right? Like the game we played was really fun to identify the instrument and where it belonged. So as we're learning and growing, it makes it easier for us. So I think about, I'm a mommy. So my youngest daughter, when she was learning and growing, it was really fun for her to identify these are insects, these are animals. And I remember when I first heard her categorize humans. So we were sitting in the car and she says, "Mommy, what are those humans doing over there?" And I was like, "Well, what humans?" And it was then that she started to identify what clothing they were wearing, their hair color, their skin color. And I thought that was just beautiful. So for her, there's insects, there's animals, there's human beings. And so it's fun when we're playing games. I think about as a child, my favorite game being Match. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So we would put the cards out on the table and it was so fun to find which card matched the other. And how it was even more fun when you can do it like 2 or 3 times in a row, right? But that's fun when we're playing games with things. But when it came to humans, I think that's dangerous when we start to categorize people too much further before we even know them. So we know that we're humans. That's wonderful. But then let's celebrate our differences as well.
So, Nikki, can you tell my friend and me, what would it look like if everyone in the world looked the same? If we all had the same skin color, the same hair color, the same eye color?
I think that would be super boring. So if we lived in a world where everyone was the exact same, like how would we have different music? How would we have different books if we all thought the same and acted the same and liked all of the same things? So I love celebrating our similarities, but I really love identifying and celebrating the things that make us different. It makes things more fun in the world.
I agree. It's kind of like the game we play.
Yes.
All of these are instruments, but this cello looks different than this tuba, but they're both beautiful instruments.
They are.
Yeah. So, I've heard a lot in the news lately, Nikki, the word racism. Can we talk about racism today?
We should talk about racism, absolutely.
So, can you tell me and my friend what is racism?
So the first thing we should think about is it's not a good thing. So when we hear the word racism, know that it's probably not a fun conversation, right? So I think about, we're friends. I am one skin color. You are a different skin color. When we're talking about racism, typically my skin color is thought of in not good ways, right? So people make assumptions about who I am before they even know me. So when I say assumptions, I'm referring to they've identified for themselves what I'm capable of, what I can do. They have made determinations about where I can go, all of the places that I should be. So they think that they know who I am just on my skin color alone. And so they put me in a box over here versus letting me be just who I am. So think about it this way. I think this is easier. So when we look at these instruments, we had fun today putting the percussions with the percussions, the brass, the strings. We had fun doing that. But what if I told you, because of racism, percussions can only be with percussions. Brass can only be with brass, and they can never play together.
Oh, wow.
right? Wouldn't that be awful? What kind of orchestra would we have?
We wouldn't have one.
We wouldn't have one. So that's kind of how racism works.
Yeah, I think when racism comes up a lot, it can make people feel really upset. And I know when people feel upset, it can be hard to ask questions. Do you have questions that you've been wanting to ask, but it's been hard to ask them? I've had some too. So Nikki, what can me and my friend do if we want to grow and we want to learn and maybe we have questions that just can't get answered right now?
Well, I can tell you one of my favorite ways, and that's through friendships. So I love to have friends that don't look like me, that maybe they lived in different states, different cities, maybe even a different country. And they can talk to me about how life has been like for them. They can share with me the things that they like to do, the foods that they like to eat. We can talk to each other about what's important to us, and we can learn and grow with each other. So friendships, that's my favorite way to learn and grow. Another fun way is reading. So I love to get books with characters that aren't like me. And I can learn about their stories and their experiences. And it's a fun way to just lose myself in other cultures and just other human beings. And so I think with friendships and books, those are my two favorite ways to learn and grow when I'm trying to do it on my own.
Well, I would just like to say I'm so glad that you're my friend, Nikki. And I'm so glad we could have this time to talk today. And I hope we can get together again soon.
Let's do it.
Good. See you later. I really enjoyed my visit with my friend Nikki at the library just now. It's nice to have a friend you can ask all kinds of questions. On my walk home, I was thinking a lot about the orchestra and all the different instruments in it. And there are some instruments that play high notes and other instruments that play low notes. But even with all those differences, they still make beautiful music together. It's kind of like us as people. We may not all look the same, and we may have different thoughts, and we may have different talents. But that's okay. That's what makes life beautiful. Shall we go visit my friends at the Missouri Symphony Orchestra? Today we get up close and personal with them as they play a piece by George Bizet. Let's see how many different instruments we can name as they play. Are you ready? Did you see all of the different instruments? Maestro Kirk even looked a little different, didn't he? Obviously, that wasn't Maestro Kirk. That was our guest conductor, Adam Bedoni. Do you think the music would have sounded as good if it had all been played by the same instrument? I think all of the different sounds make for a much more beautiful sound. Whether it's making music or building a better neighborhood, we can do so much more by putting our differences to work and listening to and learning from each other. I'm so glad you stopped by to share music with me today. You always make me feel so happy. I'll see you soon.